One thing that a lot of my students struggle with is adding and subtracting. And you you want to move on and go to things like multiplication and division, but students really need to know how to add and subtract before they can really do anything else. And if you move on from it without teaching them, it can be very detrimental to their career, sort of, whatever you want to call it, in mathematics. And so one thing that I like to teach, it doesn't matter what age they are, if they're struggling with addition and subtraction, I start with something called bridging through 10. And there is a book that I read about this, which I will put in the show notes because I don't remember the name of it right now. But bridging through 10. And basically what it is you have something like 7 plus 9. Now 7 plus 9, for a student that struggles with addition, this could be a hard problem. But just ask them, okay, we have 7, how much more do you have to get to get to 10? Well, you have to go 7 plus 3. Let me do that in a different color. You have to go 7 plus 3, right? 3. And then how much more do you have to get to 9? 7 plus 3 plus what equals 9? Well, 6. 3 plus 6. So now we've broken it down into a problem that's a little bit, it might not seem easier to solve, but I think in reality it is, because 7 plus 3 is 10, and then you bring down the rest of it, 10 plus 6, and 10 plus 6 is 16. And I found that students can add through 0 easier, because it's basically you're just doing 10 plus 6, and you're just adding 6 to 0, and that's 0 plus 6 is a little bit easier than 7 plus 9. So if we were to look at another example, you might have a problem like 7, or let's do something, we already did 7, let's do 9 plus 6. Well, 9 plus 6, obviously, if you're good at math, you're going to know 9 plus 6 equals 15. But if you're not too good at math, you could say, well, we know that 9 plus 1 is 10, and we know 1 plus 6 is 5, and so 9 plus 1 is 10, and we bring down the 5, and 10 plus 5 is 15. Very good. And if the kids are really struggling and they really hate addition, the other thing you can do is try some dice games or some domino games. For instance, you could have because the nice thing about dominoes is they chunk the numbers for them. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's say on this one you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you might have them flip over the domino and say, well, okay, how much is on there? And okay, there's 10. And you might have them play against each other. Maybe another person has on their domino 5 and 5. And just put on the dominoes a bunch of different ways to get to 10. 4 plus 6, what else? 3 plus 7. You might create a 7 domino. So you might have a domino that has like the 6. And then 3. And the trick is, and the reason they struggle a lot of times the reason students struggle with addition and subtraction is because they want to count each individual thing. They want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that can be burdensome when they start doing more complex things like multiplication and division. So you have to get them to say, okay, we know this pattern here is 6. And you have to get them to recognize the patterns. Here's 6 and here's 4. You can also do it with dice. You can play dice games. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. But the goal is to get them to stop counting by 1. And hopefully that helps you a little bit. This is just a little video on how to bridge through 10.